By the end of this video, you will have a clear path on becoming the more confident you, the provider you want to be, or the you that's just happy with what you see when you look in the mirror. And it will only take 90 days. You're going to get the step-by-step blueprint I used to go from $6,000 per month in income to over $25,000 per month in income, how I got my health back, and how I am now the leader in my family that I always wanted to be. It's a free step-by-step guide in the description of the video that customizes this entire system for you and your goals. But let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you've been here before. That surge of motivation, that promise to yourself that this time things are going to be different, and then nothing. You hit a wall, results don't match your ego's timeline, and you quietly slip back into the same old patterns. 5 years pass by and it feels like you've lived the same exact year 5 times over. You're always wanting to change, but never actually stepping into it. The good news, these principles work if you work them. The better news is that someone out there has already achieved the goal that you have. Once it's been done by one, it can be available to anybody. And in 90 days, it can be yours if you don't act the same way you always have when you try to change for the better. When you see that everything is practice, you realize the idea of arriving is just an illusion. We're taught that there's this finish line ahead, where we finally become who we're meant to be, where practice can end and real life begins. But that place doesn't exist. The anxiety of not being there yet, the shame of falling behind, the endless comparison, all of it dissolves when you see that there is no there. There's only this, the ongoing rehearsal of being alive. Everyone is equally unfinished. Everyone is stumbling through their own lives. That's not tragic, it's freeing. Understanding that everything is just practice changes how you experience time. That fight with your partner? Practice at conflict and repair. That career setback? Practice at resilience. You stop trying to prove you're complete in every moment, and paradoxically, you show up more fully because you're not chasing perfection. You're not behind, you're not failing, you're simply learning what it means to be alive. Each moment is another rep in an infinite series. Now that you know these 90 days are just practice, you need to start saying no. We've all got the same 24 hours, of course, but when you say yes to junk, it steals from the gold. You played video games till your brain's mush? Yeah, you know your mental tank empties fast. You scatter yeses to lame obligations, distractions, fake opportunities, and watch what matters. Your family, your purpose, the you want to be, they starve. Saying no? It's your life's shield. Every yes withdraws from your energy bank. No deposits future riches. We're our own thieves, people, which is pretty hilarious if it wasn't so tense in this video. The moment you choose a target, and even an imperfect one, the noise begins to fade. So shift your mindset. No is not rude, it's respect for your yeses. It shows the yeses that you are serious and that they actually matter. To grow a garden, you must get rid of the weeds. Once you're clear, something else becomes obvious. Not all effort is equal. The results you want come from a few vital actions that create disproportionate impact in your life. 20% of the inputs you have drive 80% of your results. Take my career in sales. Most reps waste hours on busy work, but 80% of the revenue I generate comes from 20% of activities. It's direct calls to warm leads. It's following up with those warm leads. When I started to cut the noise and doubled down on high-value work, my numbers skyrocketed. Every task then becomes a filter. Does this move me closer to my goals or not? You stop measuring how many tasks can I complete in a day, and you start measuring how many results did I achieve. But clarity and focus need an engine, and that engine is purpose. As you know, your motivation can evaporate even after just a bad night's sleep. Purpose carries you through exhaustion, setbacks, and doubt. When your why is clear, Discipline feels natural, sacrifice feels obvious, and growth feels inevitable. Now, here's where it gets real. Growth requires shedding. You have to let parts of you die so new ones can emerge. The habits that kept you comfortable, the stories that once protected you, they don't fit the person you're becoming. That pain, that's the signal you're doing this right. The goal is to make change simple. And yes, I said simple, not easy. You need to habitualize your day, living in your purpose, but making progress on autopilot. And you do this by focusing on keystone habits, foundational behaviors that create ripple effects across your life. For example, if you start a consistent exercise routine, you'll see that it often leads to better eating, improved sleep, increased productivity, and even stronger relationships. Not because you tried to fix everything at once, but because one habit created momentum that spread outward. These habits compound. They give you proof, evidence that you can be consistent, evidence that you can follow through. And that evidence transforms into competence. Competence then births confidence. Not fake confidence you get from saying silly affirmations, but earned confidence. The kind that whispers, I know I can handle this because I've already trained for it. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of basketball. If someone yells, "You suck," after he misses a shot, it doesn't faze him. He's taken that shot 5,000 times a day for 30 years. But even strong habits can't survive a toxic environment. Your focus is your most valuable asset, and your environment is either feeding it or stealing it. That text you just got, it's an interruption. That email demanding instant response, it's a distraction. And if you're struggling to pay bills, if you're struggling to get in shape, be there for your family, you don't need to watch another football game. You don't need video games. You don't need another drink. Distraction isn't about the outside world. It's about what you allow in. Your environment is the silent architect of your focus. So audit your digital space. Delete apps if you need to. Unsubscribe. Put your phone in another room. Then audit your physical space. Is it set up for success or is it filled with distractions? Would you be more productive in a Dave & Buster's or in a blank room with a desk? Your environment doesn't just reflect who you are, it shapes who you become. Finally, audit your social environment too. The people you spend time with influence your thoughts, your energy, and your decisions. Choose to invest in people who support your growth, who challenge you, who push you toward your highest potential. When you follow the few steps we've talked about in this video, growth follows a very predictable curve. At first, you're motivated, you're excited. Then progress feels slow. You question if it's worth it. But slowly, something shifts. The compounding of days, the stacking of small wins, it creates invisible momentum. Then there's an inflection point where everything accelerates. It's the hockey stick curve. For so long, progress felt non-existent. But you have to remember, everything is compounding. The hardest part is staying committed through the tough days when progress feels invisible. This is where most people quit, just before the breakthrough. The growth you can't see is the real growth. Those small daily victories that seem insignificant are the building blocks. They're momentum stackers, evidence that you're on the right path. The truth is, growth is always happening, even when it feels like nothing is changing. And because you never stop growing, you're always, until your last breath, becoming something greater than you were before. After all, this is all just practice. Now your next move here is to take this now. Download the free blueprint in the description and plan your next 90 days specific to you and your goals. Then start right now, right where you are. That's it. I'm cheering for you.